So my due day's reading. I've already got some of the cards pulled out because I was doing the recording and I thought I was recording and I was not. So I feel foolish, but I don't want to put the cards back because they're appropriate. So I already, because I wanted to lay them out along the way, but I don't want to put them back and start over because the cards mean something. So I'm going to do today's reading. Will there be justice for Jacob Blake? This is a big case going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin, about the young man who was shot in the back 7 times. It's very brutal. And I'll even talk about in his position is the 10 of swords or the 10 of blades. See the knife going in the back? Most depictions of the 10 of swords card show a man with 7 swords in his back. And that's exactly where he was shot, was in the back. Kind of shocking that I get that card for his position in the self position. So I've already got everything shuffled. I was doing the reading and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even recording. So let's get to it and I'm going to talk about the read I've got. But yes, that's very significant. I just pulled it in his position and then my iPad informed me, oh, by the way, you're not even recording. But to get this for him and being stabbed in the back, and he was shot in the back 7 times, incredibly significant. And as you can see, just the ultimate betrayal. That he was really innocent to his position. He was there to break up a fight. Now, I know how a lot of people are, and this happens every time something bad happens to an African American, is they will bring up, oh, but they had a record, or they did this in past, or that, and various things. They did it to George Floyd too. And it's like, it doesn't justify shooting a man in the back 7 times. If that was you who either got pulled over or the cops showed up at your house because of a situation, would you want that to happen to you? Would you sit there and go, well, hey, if I wouldn't have been walking to my car, I would have got shot. It's my fault. You wouldn't say that. You would be like trying to sue the city for paralyzing you. Now, we've got the moon, though, but I will acknowledge there is still some unknown things coming up with this case. Now, a lot of it's on video. We know what's going on, but there is a little bit of confusion. We should get a little more of the story, why they would do this. I feel like, and that's one of the things the protesters out there are incredibly confused, is why would you react in such a strong way to somebody who was trying to defuse a situation? They weren't necessarily running, they were walking away. And he did look a little defiant, like, I'm getting out of here, I don't care what you say. He's got his kids in the car, he just wants to get away from the situation. But on the same token, it does not justify the excessive force that was used. Apparently there was 5 officers there. Why can't they just throw him to the ground? And they were talking about he may have had a knife. He may have said he was going for a gun. The best thing, just throw him to the ground. You've got a stun gun. Use your stun gun, taser, whatever. But I also do have the 8 of Swords crossing the moon. I can see the 8 of Swords when it comes to jail. So it is very possible that the officer who used the excessive force, I have a feeling it's going to get dragged out a little bit, but they may be charged. So if anybody is wondering about that, that is a possibility. Now, we normally, Wisconsin, we kind of think about something like this. It's just kind of a very homey kind of state. We don't think of it a place of racial unrest. And we've got the King of Coins here. This is kind of how it's normally depicted, all this growth and farming and family and things like that. What's in Wisconsin? That's kind of, but normally we have, the bright side. But there has been issues going on. I've got justice. So the racial unrest, it has to have been there prior. And this just really triggered it. And this is why I like the Daily Enchanted Tarot, is because it was designed a few years ago, but it seems to depict a lot of 2020 scenes for me. I have very much noticed. And as you can see, African American and Caucasian yelling at each other in the street. You can see the cars in the background. And then somebody trying to, like maybe some kind of an official, trying to diffuse the situation. And that's really what a lot of people are trying to figure out is a way to get people, maybe they got to talk it out like these two are doing. Well, they're kind of yelling, but, try to come to some place of peace and understanding. But justice is showing, and so I do feel justice will be served in this case. That's what I especially look for if I'm reading a situation. Will there be justice for a certain situation? Racial unrest has really been an issue with coronavirus. 8 of Wands is my corona card. If you watch my last read, it was in the same position. This really sparked a lot of discord of many issues in the country. Everything seemed to come to surface like this with this virus. And the racial unrest is a big one that kind of was sparked out of that. Everybody is frustrated. Very concerned what's going on, because we do have, it is some rioting going on out there. People are getting hurt. We have a 17-year-old that shot 2 protesters. People are going to be talking about him, and he is Caucasian. So we've got the 9 of Wands. People are going to get hurt, injured. A couple people have been killed. So it's been very traumatic with everything going out there. So I am worried there could be more injuries and so forth. So, the people out there need to be very careful. They hopefully can get to a place of peaceful protest, but they're really angry right now, and rightfully so. I understand their anger, but they can't be tearing up the place. It's, and the mother is represented as the 3 of Swords, the heartache, and gave a very passionate speech, trying to calm situation, that her son would not want people to be being like this, so she is, and I'm sure they urged her, please say something to try to calm people down. I have a feeling she was able to reach some people, though, but I feel for her suffering and her pain and the horror. I remember when I watched the video of him being shot, I believe there was a woman there looking on and just screaming, couldn't believe what was going on. I feel like we're very desensitized when it comes to these things. People grew up watching Cops. There was Live PD, various shows, and all the cop shows, and they became very desensitized to what is really going on. So when things like this happen, it doesn't impact them as much unless it really hit home. So, we need to let it sink in what's really going on, and it's not so simple that it's a good guys versus bad guys thing, out there, and the good guys are always the cops and everything. We got to kind of look at it that, unfortunately, there are bad cops out there, and, this was a bad move. They could have tackled him. If they felt threatened. And the kids, what if the kids had been hit? Then what? Oh my God. Then what would have happened? I do have the 9 of Cups. A lot of people, this is a wishing card. A lot of people are wishing for justice, definitely. I do feel they will get their wish. Normally when I see it, that is what it means to, that people will get their wish on a situation. But as far as him walking again, I'm not a health reader. I really hope he does. That's one area I don't go into, but it's not looking good. 10 of Swords, seven blows to the back. And actually, they were even talking about he had 8 holes in him, so there could have been even one more. There may have been 8 shots fired. And then, of course, 6 of Cups, that represent the children and so forth. That is a big concern for a lot of us, that his children were in the car. And I believe this is what really outrages people. Like, how can you shoot a father down in front of 3 kids? They will forever be scarred because of this. But that is one of the big things that I believe has shocked the public so much. Not just the shooting alone would have still shocked the public because it was so blatantly excessive. But to do it in front of 3 children in the car, he's just trying to get to his kids in the car, is what it appears to be. And then have this happen is very traumatic. I do end with the Ace of Coins. Now, the Ace of Coins can be receiving some money, so I do feel there will be a lawsuit that should be successful. That is one thing that will come out of it. So as far as, and I've got the King of Blades, so I can see this, so I do feel there will be a court case. As you can see, it kind of looks like court and so forth. So I do feel there is going to be a court case that this officer is going to have to face the judge. So definitely, as we have the Ten of Blades, and then we've got the King of Blades there, and he is holding up, as you can see, evidence. When he's talking to court, he's holding up evidence, and then we've got the incident here where the blade is stuck in the back. So it does look pretty good. There's going to be a court case, guys. It would just be, if there wasn't, it would be insane. But especially seeing the King of Blades, and then of course the Ten of Blades here with the blade going in the back, it's just like it is. We have evidence here that this was done, and it's very point blank. So this is going to be argued in court for sure. And I do feel there will be a lawsuit. That is definitely one thing. Jail time, it's very possible with that Eight of Swords. But yeah, and I just threw Six of Coins. Definitely there will be a payout. There will be a payout. Now, will it be, a ridiculous amount of money? I am not sure, but I feel it will be fair. Because normally when there is a payout, it's usually fair with the Six of Coins. So I do feel the family will get, and him, of course, a lawsuit because he's paralyzed and he may never walk again. But just even going through that, say he survives and can walk again, to still go through something so incredibly traumatic, to go through something so incredibly traumatic, to be alive is a miracle. So, inevitably when he comes out of it, he's going to share his story. But yeah, I do feel it's going to go to court. Seeing the King of Blades and the Ten of Blades, definitely, I do feel there will be a court case on this. And it will be criminal. I don't feel it's only going to be a civil suit here. They would be insane to not fire this officer. But I have a feel there's going to be some charges pressed. Because this was like to shoot to kill. Okay? If you don't think that officer was trying to kill him, okay, that was to shoot to kill. To shoot him, I could see shoot him in the leg or something, maybe kind of knock him down, maybe just shoot him in the leg, maybe shoot him in the arm, and just kind of wound him and he falls to the ground. But this was all in the back. This was to shoot to kill. And that's what people need to understand. And this was not warranted to shoot somebody so dramatically and impact their life. But the protesters, I hope they calm down and get to a place of peace. I know they're very angry. We got that. And they just want justice. They want justice. They want it to stop. It's not like they want to be out there. And that's one of the things people got to understand. It's not like they want to be out there tearing stuff up. They're very frustrated and they don't know how to stop it. So by showing their frustration, they're hoping change will come. So when people say, I don't want my city tore up, maybe I should arrest this officer. That's kind of their logic. I know it's not the most logical way, but it is a reaction to a very strong action that is very damaging. We will see what happens, but that's what I got.